Most people think retirement is something you just arrive at, then it works itself out. But what I've noticed, and what a lot of retirees quietly admit, is that some of the hardest parts of retirement aren't obvious until you're already in it and living them. You see, retirement doesn't magically make life easier, calmer, or more meaningful. It reveals things about time, stress, about who you are when work is no longer structuring your days. So in this video, I want to share the 5 real lessons retirement has taught me, and then I'll reveal how closely the lessons I've learned match what other retirees say they wish they'd known earlier. Because once you see these things clearly, retirement becomes less confusing and far more intentional. If you're new here or you're a returning viewer, my name's Paul and thanks for stopping by. So in no particular order, let's get stuck in. As you approach retirement, as well as when you first enter into it, you have several ideas and plans which could include things like travel or maybe a big project, hobbies, whatever. But putting those things aside, the big thing that struck me was a deep appreciation of freedom. Waking up knowing that you didn't have to go to work, then having the freedom to move through the day without being rushed. You quickly realise how much of your life had been lived on the clock. And when that same clock disappears, things started to feel rich in a way they never had before. Things like, slow mornings, spontaneous decisions, things like going out for lunch because you can, unplanned afternoons, or just simply having the choice to call the shots when it comes to your time. Not a morning goes by where I don't wake up and acknowledge to myself how much I just appreciate my freedom and how lucky I am. And when I looked into what other retirees were saying, this came up constantly. They said they hadn't realised how compressed life had felt and how freeing it would be to finally own their time again. The second lesson is a big one. Stress doesn't automatically disappear when you retire, but much of it really does become optional. What I noticed was that I carried stress out of habit. It was the norm and it went with the territory. Deadlines, urgency, worries, even if it was questionable or if in fact I should have even had a reason to worry about it in the first place. Retirement gives you a choice. You can keep living as if everything is urgent, or you can slow down, put that weight down, and yep, I've definitely done the latter. And what a lot of retirees said was the same thing. Even when money was fine, stress lingered. Not because it was needed, but because it was familiar. This is probably my personal favourite and biggest surprise one, because retirement creates space. And that newly acquired space, for me at least, has created growth. Growth I could never have imagined, like doing this for example, and learning about technology and creativity, which was previously way out of my comfort zone. Without work filling your days, you're suddenly left with yourself, your thoughts, new discoveries that can come out of nowhere, which ultimately become your new hobbies and interests. So out of that, I've realised that there's plenty left within you to discover and learn that you just haven't found yet. Many retirees said they'd wish they'd understood this earlier. They expected retirement to do something to them, when in reality, it simply gave them the room to do something for themselves. This one was like a flick of the switch for me, because when I retired, my tolerance for unnecessary drama, politics between friends, and the nonsense dropped instantly. When time feels abundant, or when you're on someone else's time more to the point, you tolerate more. That's just the norm. But when time feels precious, however, you become way more selective. And that applies to conversations, friendships, and most importantly, how you spend your energy, because you can finally decide whether to engage or otherwise. This one repeatedly came up as retirees mentioned social circles had got smaller. Whilst connections had got deeper, they also cited that they had less patience for ego and noise, and more appreciation for calm and genuine people. Hard to argue with that, isn't it? The fifth lesson is the most important because retirement really is shorter than you think. They say in sport, you're a long time retired, but in life, you're a short time retired. And especially in the early years, because that's when your health, energy and freedom overlap. Time feels different once work ends. And despite not having to work and having the routine removed, days and weeks pass quickly. Therefore, so do the years. And I don't say this to be alarmist, but rather I'm just saying it really to be grounded. And many retirees validate this by saying they wish they hadn't delayed their retirement plans and they wish they'd understood earlier just how valuable those early years are. So look, when you listen to enough retirees, a pattern emerges. Retirement isn't about filling time, it's about valuing it. The real lessons aren't loud, they're quiet, personal, and deeply human. So take a moment to process and understand them, and hopefully the more meaningful this chapter will be for you. So with all that said, I'd like to hear your story. If you've retired, I'd love to know. What's the one thing you wish you'd known earlier? Or if you're approaching retirement, what's helped provide you with getting a little more clarity? Drop us a comment below, it'd be great to hear from you. And if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.